Hello everybody and welcome back to the third installment of the California Chronicles. This is our spring 2025 recap. Very exciting, unrehearsed. It's gonna be a little rough. We weren't even planning on doing it tonight. It's a Friday night. We both just got home from work and scarfed down a dinner. We normally film these on like a weekend where there's a little more time. You may notice the video getting progressively darker as we go on because we're in front of a window and the sun's setting. But we have a really fun weekend planned that I'm not going to spoil yet, and we thought it'd be fun to take you along with us for the weekend. And so we figured we'd kind of rush in a little spring recap tonight so that you could come along in the vlog with us tomorrow to some adventuring. So with that said, we can start as per usual with the boring work stuff first. We actually both have pretty exciting news, Connor in particular. And so if you want to start with the work news.
Yeah, totally.
He's gonna be
squint to see the teleprompter.
I have a little bulleted list of topics I want to cover, but his glasses are glaring, so he took them off.
Yeah, so for the last couple months, I've been substitute teaching in a special ed classroom at a local middle school, well, local-ish. And I've really kind of been learning from the other teacher in the room and kind of existing in a student teaching capacity and getting to know all the kids, and it's been a really wonderful time. I also got accepted into San Jose State University, which I was very excited about. Shout out to Sean and Sarah for sending us some money to go to Shake Shack. That was very nice. Thank you guys.
We had a celebratory dinner at Shake Shack. So that's a like California, or at least like West Coast burger chain.
I was kind of going back and forth between UC Berkeley and San Jose State for a while. And there were like things that I liked about both programs and then things that I didn't like about both programs. And I just kind of came to the decision that San Jose State was the right fit for me. And so I went ahead and accepted yesterday. Now I'm starting all the like paperwork process of becoming enrolled in a multiple subject teaching credential and Masters of Teaching program. Very exciting. Go Spartans. Spending a ton of time in San Jose volunteering with the Food Not Bombs chapter there, and been to a bunch of soccer games there, more on that later, and so I'm glad that I'll be spending more time there. I've really gotten to know the city over the last couple months, and yeah, it's a very exciting time. Some sad news. I know I mentioned that I was pet sitting a pit bull named Jojo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always laugh when things make me sad.
Yeah.
It's a weird emotional response I have.
Anyway.
Okay.
Get it out now.
Yeah. I don't know
what
why.
I'm about to say is quite sad.
I know. Every time someone has sad news, I like giggle. It's very inappropriate. Go ahead.
Jojo passed away.
Oh my god.
We can't cut that. We have to keep that.
It's so inappropriate. I'm like so sad about it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
We went through all this trouble to make a script. We should have written "Don't laugh"
scripted.
in the script. Okay,
Right.
in the not script. So some sad news, but overall a really exciting time. The school years are coming down to an end, and all of the districts I sub in, and thinking about next steps. I'm not going to mention how I'm sad that I won't see my kids after 2 weeks from now that I've been working with over the last couple months, because Megan will find that funny, but that's what's going on with me. What's new with you?
Yeah, I will say on the note of Jojo passing, it was very sad. And fortunately though, like shortly before she passed, Jojo's mom's booked Connor to watch Jojo for like a full day while they were out of town, and they invited me to come with him. And so we spent like almost like 12 hours hanging out with Jojo in her apartment.
Watching soccer.
Watching soccer and like feeding her and taking her on little like potty breaks to lay in the grass. And so I feel like we really had like kind of a nice final moment with her that was really special.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can transition to my work stuff now. So I think my biggest news of the quarter is that my paper is finally published. So I think last video I updated that we had submitted a paper to the editor of the journal. And you never know how that's going to go. A lot of times they just reject it with no comment. Sometimes they give you like really big comments, which was really scary because I've already graduated. This is paper on research for my undergraduate degree. And so if they wanted like major experiments to be redone, like I simply can't do that. And there are some students on the paper who are still undergrads there, but like I'm not sure how that would have worked. And so I was a little apprehensive that if they needed big comments, we probably would have just had to go to like lower tier journal that maybe wouldn't suggest those kind of revisions. But we actually got comments back that were very minor. It was categorized under like the minor revisions category, where they just had some like wording tweaks and a couple things they wanted an extra sentence of clarification on, but they had no major suggestions for how to improve the paper, which is really crazy because this is like, I've never written a paper before, and so as like this young in my career, and I mean, it's a testament to the advising that I got from my PI. I'm not trying to say I did it all by myself. The first draft that I handed in to my advisor was a nightmare, but it was very exciting.
That's awful.
It was really great news to get that back. And then we turned back a revised version of the paper, and they accepted that version. And then they sent us proofs, and we made a couple tweaks and whatever, but it's finally actually published online. And so I feel like I have closed the door on my undergraduate chapter completely now, and that was super exciting. Other than that, it's sort of been business as usual. I'm taking some classes. I finished up after the last video we filmed, the winter quarter. That quarter I never mentioned, but I took a microfluidics class. That was really cool. I've never done microfluidics before.
Really small fluids.
My background is in biology, but this is the more like engineering side of my bioengineering department. So I actually got to like design some devices, and that was really fun. And then this quarter, I'm taking 2 classes, and I feel like they're both focused on equity, which is really cool. I feel like normally STEM classes are very just like solve these equations, but it's a very like unique quarter in the classes I'm taking, and I get to think about different things than I normally get to think about. One of them is a class called Frugal Science. That's about how we can create scientific tools, whether it's for doing research or for like diagnostics or for conservation, that are cheap so that they can be implemented around the world. I also have been taking lots of teaching classes. So right now I'm in a class that's on like effective and equitable teaching in bioengineering in my department, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm pursuing a teaching certification through my school's Teaching, Learning, and Research Center. So also over my spring break, instead of doing anything fun, I signed up for an intensive crash course in course design. I'm also in my 3rd rotation, and so this one is in cell-free synthetic biology, so it's lots of like biochemistry. Basically what the lab does is if you break open a cell and pour all of its guts into a tube, then you can run reactions with those guts without having to worry about keeping the cell alive. So basically you can like force a cell to do things that it normally would not do as a living thing that has control over what it wants to do versus not. And then the lab, like I was saying, is lots of biochemistry type things. So lots of how can we optimize enzymes to have improved kinetics, and that's been fun. It's the rotation that's been most out of my wheelhouse, so I feel a little out of my comfort zone, but in a good way. I feel like I'm learning a lot, and it's very cool. So I'm only planning on doing 3 rotations, and this is my 3rd rotation, and so presumably I'll be choosing a lab very soon, within the month, which is exciting. It was not exciting for a very long time. Again, like I said last video, I won't dwell on this, but just funding in science is like a nightmare right now. The Trump administration is defunding science kind of across the board in the country right now. I know lots of labs that have just straight up received cease and desist orders, and labs are just across the board not hiring as many people anymore. One of the 3 labs I rotated in already has said that they're not going to be taking any students anymore this year. So that rotation kind of ended up, I learned a lot from it, and I'm glad I did it. But like that's kind of the situation where we're in right now, where it's like not personal, but labs that like normally would be taking people are not taking people anymore, which makes sense, because if you're gonna have to be firing the people in your lab because you can't afford to pay them anymore, obviously you're not going to take on new people that you have to pay. That's just going to result in you having to fire people faster. Like I totally respect the decision to be downsizing right now. It's a very unprecedented attack on academia that's happening. Anyway, sorry, I'll digress off of my soapbox. I don't want to depress everybody as I've been this month.
Wait, now this is the part where I laugh.
But not to alarm you all. It looks like I do actually have options, which is exciting. I've been talking with the other 2 professors that I've rotated with. I'm going to come out of this okay, and from the conversations I'm having, I'm feeling optimistic that I will be able to join a lab and everything's going to be fine. I'll stop talking about it now. On that note, maybe we can talk about some of the fun that we've had, because we have had a lot of fun. We've been stressed, but having fun. And so I'm gonna pull up my little list of things that we've done in chronological order. The first like major fun thing that we wanna talk about is that for Connor's birthday in October, my big present to him was tickets to see Deftones in concert, because that's one of his favorite bands. And I feel like we've been to a lot of concerts that were like bands I liked or bands that we liked, but it was the first concert we've ever really been to. It was like for Connor, and I thought that was kind of fun. And so if you wanna talk about that.
It was so cool. I've been a fan of this band since like freshman year of high school. And I don't know, it was surreal seeing them. One of the openers is also a band I really like, and the other one was fun to watch. And yeah, it was just an incredible experience all around, hearing songs I grew up with like live. And we saw it in Sacramento, and that's like where they're from originally, so the energy was there, like the homecoming vibes and everything. It was just an amazing experience all around.
Super fun. That was it was right before our anniversary, so like early March 1st. Yeah. And then so that goes into our next thing, which is then it was our anniversary. And if you remember from last video, we did 2 things for Valentine's Day, so we're gonna even it out by doing 0 things for our anniversary. And so we didn't do anything special. I mean, it was very special, but it's not like we like went out. We made lasagna and ate it in our pajamas while watching Severance, which is a TV show that we've been really into. And so it was a very nice anniversary. Oh, but also it was our 4-year anniversary, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about our like backstory, because I don't think a lot of our family actually knows that. But we had that same thought on our anniversary. And so we filmed a little video then about our backstory that I can cut to for anyone who's curious about how we started dating. And if not, you can just skip that part. Hello. It is almost our 4-year anniversary. It's coming up in like 2 days, 3 days, a very long time. And so we realized that many of you probably don't know our origin story. And so just as a very brief segment, because today's the day we're celebrating our anniversary, because it's Sunday and we're both busy on Tuesday, I thought we could talk about how we got together. If you want to start, because you DM'd me on Instagram first.
Yes. So how far back are we going?
Okay, so like initially I made an Instagram post.
Yes.
There was like a boycott happening.
Yes. And then I think before the Instagram post about the boycott, you posted about your story being published. And
did you respond to that?
I responded to that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I responded to that and was like, whoa, so cool.
What?
Yeah. And then the boycott thing was what actually started a conversation.
Okay, so hold on. We'll go even further back maybe, where Connor and I were both doing some stuff with the union, like the graduate student union at William & Mary we were volunteering with as undergrads, and we had done flyering together, and I had a huge crush on him, but he had a girlfriend from back home from high school. And I don't know if she remembers this, but I remember calling my mom and being like we referred to you as the guy with a girlfriend for a little bit, because I was like telling her that I liked you, but you were like the guy with the girlfriend. And anyway, so we knew each other, but allegedly I got a short story published in a literary magazine, like a fiction story. I also don't know if many of you know that either. And I posted about it because I was like, oh, I'm a published author now, I wrote this fiction story, and I guess he responded to that.
Yes.
But I remember it's right, well, because I feel like the thing that started us like talking, was there was a boycott that I posted about, and Connor asked me a question about it. But anyway, and then we were just kind of talking back and forth. And at this point, he had broken up with his girlfriend, but I didn't know that yet. But I kind of figured because we were like talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, months prior.
And I really liked him, and I was like telling all my friends about him, and they were like, you gotta make a move, you gotta make a move, you gotta make a move. And so I made the first move, I feel, and I asked Connor, because this was during COVID times, I asked Connor if he wanted to go on a walk in the woods, because we both were outdoorsy people, and that was like literally all you could do, because we weren't allowed to enter buildings together. Like, there was no building we could like mutually be on campus together. But then the day before, do you remember that? That's not actually the first time we met up.
Yes.
Because do you remember what happened? So the day before the woods walk, Connor messaged me and asked if I wanted to go to the grocery store with him.
To get materials.
There was like a drive happening to donate materials.
Yeah, it was for a mutual aid group in Richmond.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that it was for that. Yeah. So we got like donation supplies like soaps and like
water.
Yeah.
We didn't have a car, so we carried the water.
He carried it. And so our first, it's actually kind of cute because our first like time hanging out, like as a flirty group, not just like how we knew each other before and he was in a relationship. As a floop was grocery shopping. And then we went on a woods walk. But then on this fateful night, which is with the anniversary of, because we celebrate our dating anniversary, not our like engagement anniversary or anything like that. But on the night of March 3rd into March 4th, but we call it March 4th because it was like 2 a.m. at the time it happened. But my friends and I were going to go stargazing at night because again, it was COVID time. So it was like literally all you could do was do stuff outside. And Connor and I had been talking for a while. And I asked Connor if he wanted to go stargazing, but he was babysitting.
Yes.
His two friends were like drunk out of their mind. And so Connor was like, I would love to come, but I have to bring them with me because I don't trust that they'll be okay. And I literally was in my dorm. We're about to meet up with Connor and his friends, and I was giving my friends a pep talk that was like, don't mess this up for me. I know you guys are weird and you're going to make jokes and you're going to sabotage me, but don't ruin this for me. And then we met up.
Right. So we met up. My friends were, I told Megan in advance, I was like, they are like intoxicated in potentially multiple ways and like just a lot. And so they were kind of all over the place, but we were hanging out a hole that was dug in the ground on William & Mary's campus during the New Deal era, I guess. There was a purpose for the hole, I've since forgotten, but it's a great place on a clear night to stargaze, and so that's where we met up.
We saw shooting stars.
We saw
two shooting stars on the Second Gardens, and then we were there for a couple hours, and like Connor and I were just kind of like stargazing, and then we were like, let's move this party elsewhere, and we couldn't go inside anywhere, and so we all went to this rooftop, like we trespassed onto the roof of this building.
Yes.
We're admitting to a crime, I think. I don't think we were allowed to crawl up there, but there was an art museum on campus where at night it was abandoned. Allegedly. And you could like climb up onto the banister and like hoist yourself up onto the roof. Yeah. I feel like you could hypothetically do that. And if
you did,
we all hypothetically went up there. And Connor and I were talking, and he found an abandoned lighter. Oh, which we also allegedly don't have in this apartment because I don't think we're allowed to have lighters or candles or anything else you may have seen us use in here. But on the rooftop was a lighter. And Connor and I were like fiddling with it because he was like, well, like I couldn't get it to work, and he was like, oh, like let me show you how to get it to work, and it was all like romantic. And then his friends and my friends were all like, you know, it's getting kind of late. Like I think we're probably gonna go. And then it was just Connor and I on the roof, and he asked me to be his girlfriend through a very rambly. It took him like 10 minutes to ask it because he was so nervous.
And you were like freezing.
It was so cold.
Yeah.
And it was, I literally think 2 or 3 in the morning by the time it happened. But that's the anniversary of what we're celebrating. I have a little baby surprise for you, which is that I dug through some pictures. Mm-hmm. And I put together a little slideshow of our relationship with some assorted pictures that I thought were really cute.
We were so cute. I love that slideshow. What else happened? We went to a San Jose Earthquakes game, which was a lot of fun, even though they lost.
You're saying a lot of jargon. That's our local Major League Soccer team.
Kinetic enzymes. Anyway, what else did we do?
Hold on. We have videos of the Earthquakes game that we need to show. So that was really fun. The Earthquakes are not very good. I was actually very disappointed in how they played. I think the entire game they didn't have a single shot on target on goal, and they scored no goals and they lost. But it was a fun energy, and so we had fun there. Oh, and just for context, we got tickets through Stanford in a promotion, and so they were like $10 for tickets, but it came with a $10 food and drink voucher. And so the ticket basically paid for itself if you got food, in my little illogical math. But Connor was like, I'm gonna get a beer with the voucher. And the beer was $20 for one can of beer.
It wasn't even good.
And so it like wasn't even free with the voucher. Because we didn't look at the price, because it was like, surely a $10 voucher will cover a beer. But the game was fun.
The game was a lot of fun.
Earthquake! 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 Earthquake!
Another thing we did in the month of March, I think, was go on a hike to Mount Tamalpais, which is a mountain right across the Golden Gate Bridge in the North Bay area. And it was super pretty.
So it was a very long hike. It was very pretty. And basically the whole thing starts in this like following a winding river through these hills. And so it's lots of up and down walking and just like waterfalls and rivers, and you have to climb this little ladder. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, clearing Pacific Ocean. And so that was crazy. And then the ending of the hike is just walking up a hill in the sun with no shade cover. And so it was a bit of a fun at the beginning, a little rough at the end kind of hike, but it was very nice. What are we seeing, Connor?
The Pacific Ocean.
What? This is so cool.
Where are we, Megan? Could have fooled me.
think the next fun thing that we did is, as an early birthday present, because now we're in April, my parents got us tickets to see the U.S. women's national team play. They played a friendly against Brazil in San Jose, actually at the Earthquake Stadium, and so we got to go back there. And so that was so much fun. I grew up watching the U.S. women's national team. I wanted to be a national team soccer player for a while. I was on a Olympic development team when I was younger, and so I was very serious about soccer. Actually, I was on 3 soccer teams at the same time. Soccer was my life growing up, playing pretty competitively. And so growing up, these were my heroes and what I wanted to be. And some of the girls that we got to see play are names that I recognized from my childhood, some of the older players, as being oh my God, I can't believe that you're on the field in front of me. You're a celebrity kind of thing. And so that was so fun. They played Brazil, which is also fun because Brazil has a really good soccer team. We lost, but I wasn't even mad about it because it was just such high quality soccer. It was funny going to the Major League Soccer Earthquakes game, and it was eh. And then to see the U.S. women's national team play, it was wow, you guys are really good. And one fun thing about that game is that we scored our first goal, our only goal, in less than a minute into the game. So it's not clear from the videos that you guys are gonna see, but I filmed a little chant right before kickoff, and then immediately after a video of us scoring. There was 5 seconds between that. The next fun thing that we did, just going chronologically, is we got to see Doechii in concert, which was crazy. For those of you who don't know who Doechii is, she just won a Grammy this year for Best Rap Album. She's a very exciting rap artist, and Connor and I are both big fans. And she came to play at Stanford for our music festival, which is so crazy because she just won a Grammy, but they booked her in advance. And so when she was a smaller artist, she agreed to play the show at Stanford, and then she went on to win a Grammy. And then she actually came to Stanford still. If I were her, I feel I would have been never mind, I have bigger and better things to do. But she followed through on her commitment. And so we got to see her thoughts?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The huge turnout, obviously, as you would expect.
It was the first ever music festival they've sold out.
Yeah, and it was just so it was an incredible time.
Freaky little, sneaky little, creepy little black bitch, creeping on me, speaking on me, sleeping on me, lecture. Now I got some bands to burn and parts up in them backwards. It's time to wake 'em up, cause they're sleeping on the track list. Black so attractive, y'all be giving that fish. Rock 'em off the web and every gangster giving actress. Gangsters giving actress, and all these fake activists leave me down for real. Don't relax a bit. Let me relax a bit, I think I need to cool it off. As for me, 2023, I'm stacking lots of cheese and making money. My grass is really green, and honestly, y'all can't even fucking cap no more. This is a really dark time for me. I'm going through a lot. By a lot, you mean drugs? I wouldn't drugs. No. It's a natural plan. I'm not judging. I'm not an addict. I'm just saying. I don't think. You want to talk about it? I mean, fuck. I like pills. I like drugs. I like getting. I like day drinking and day parties in Hollywood. I like doing Hollywood shit. Start a Hollywood. Hold on, Doechii. You're losing yourself, okay? Sorry. So, Stanford University, can you help us with this breathing technique to calm her down? Can y'all do that for us? Okay. Woosah!
Then it was your birthday, which was pretty crazy.
That was
What did we do?
crazy. So
The royal we.
my close friend from college, who you guys may have seen in the cross country road trip vlog, Beth Ann, flew in from Boston, where she's a master's student, to visit me for my birthday, and she was here for 4 days, and it was so much fun. It made it feel very special to have a visitor. And so I can just, we didn't really take any videos, but I have a couple that I can interject with, but we mostly took a ton of pictures. And so as I'm talking, maybe like I'll be talking on this side and then like Connor will just be covered up by pictures, sorry. But I'll just like very quickly give you the rundown. So she flew in Thursday night. On Friday, I had to work, but we woke up really early because she was on East Coast time, and I gave her a campus tour. I took her up Hoover Tower, and so that was really fun. She kind of just did her own thing most of the day, but we met up and got lunch together at Blend, which is my favorite restaurant on campus. It's a Filipino, Vietnamese fusion, like rice bowl place, and it's like the best place on campus to get lunch. And I try not to go there like ever because I just don't like spending money when I can just bring leftovers, but it was a good excuse to actually like buy lunch at work, so that was very fun. And then that night we did some cooking, and so we made a kale beet salad with Connor's homemade creamy tomato pasta. It's a little recipe that he's perfected, and so delicious homemade pasta sauce with a really yummy fresh summery salad, and then we got a limoncello spritz to go with it, and so it was just a very like Italian summery vibe. And then Saturday, which is my actual birthday, we spent the day in Santa Cruz, which is funny because if you remember from the fall video, that's what we did on Connor's birthday. And so I guess it's a birthday tradition now to go to Santa Cruz. But we went there, we did the same cliffside hike that we did for Connor's birthday, but this time the flowers were in bloom to show that time had progressed. Because it's spring, so that was very nice and springy. We also got to see some birds laying eggs, and so the whole thing was just very spring, very fun. And then in Santa Cruz, we also went to the beach. We got to do some reading. I was reading a fantastic book called The Intuitionist, which I highly recommend. It's actually my dad's book that I stole from him. And then we went to the like famous boardwalk in Santa Cruz, same kind of thing we did for Connor's birthday, walked around a lot. And then we got burritos from a different restaurant than we tried last time in Santa Cruz, and those were fantastic. And then we came home and Connor baked me a strawberry shortcake, which was delicious with homemade whipped cream. It was, thank you. It was very good, very special.
That was a really fun day. And then the next day?
The next day was Easter, and also our San Francisco day, because it was her first time visiting California, like we couldn't not go to San Francisco. And so the morning started with her going to church while Connor and I had a really juvenile Easter egg hunt in our apartment. And so that was fun.
Happy Easter, Megan.
Happy Easter, Connor. I found an egg. I found an egg. Yours are easier than mine. I feel bad for yours now. I found an egg. Did you just pan to an egg?
No. No.
Just panned to an egg.
I literally did though.
I just saw you pan. You did pan to an egg. You're not Jeff Probst.
I was panning to it the whole time.
I know you just pan to an egg.
I literally did. I'm just enjoying this.
Oh my god.
Okay. You just panned to an egg. I had the balcony too, didn't I?
You have the balcony.
I mean, there's 5 eggs in these 2 rooms.
Yeah. There's 5 more.
I just woke up and my hair was like this. A messenger.
Where'd the light bulb go?
I got one. That was an epic hiding place. Where did the light bulb go though?
It's hiding in the closet. 4 eggs. 2 left. The easiest egg, dare I say. I was really proud of that one.
That was a good one. Dude. You crushed that.
Thank you.
That was so
I was always the Easter egg hunting champion in my house. They always had to make me stop so my sister could find one. And then Beth Ann came back from church and we made Eggs Benedict, which was delicious. I feel like you have to have eggs on Easter. And then we went to San Francisco and we did the same hike that we did from the winter video from when we visited that postdoc for my first rotation. I was trying to connect places for you guys. Maybe you can get some familiarity with the area. And so that was really beautiful. And then we stopped and got donuts from a bakery. And then we went to a place we had never been before, which is Pier 49?
Pier 39.
Pier 39, which is a bunch of sea lions just decided to chill there. It's not like they're like in captivity there, like some kind of exhibit. It's open to the Pacific Ocean. And ever since the last big one that hit here, they decided just to habitate that area. And so we got to see all these sea lions. I'll play you a video so you can hear them barking. It's so funny. And then we went to Chinatown and we got dinner at the other of two vegetarian Chinese restaurants in Chinatown. It was very delicious. And then we walked around the area a little bit and came home. And then Monday, Connor and I both worked again, but that night we made homemade sweet potato enchiladas, and that was delicious. And I think that's the rundown of my birthday. Sorry, there weren't a lot of videos and it was just me rambling the whole time, but it was very nice.
It was so much fun. Yeah, last weekend we went to a Bay FC soccer game with some friends. Bay FC is the professional women's soccer team. They're based in San Jose, but they're kind of like the Bay Area's soccer team. And they were so good. It was a lot of fun. It was a rivalry game because they were playing LA, who one of LA's players is the like world famous women's national team player, Kristen Press, yeah, which was so much fun to like actually be in the same building as her. It was crazy. We kind of crushed them though a little bit.
Yeah, and LA, so like Connor said, there are rivals, but they're ranked much higher than us, and so they were expected to win, but then we came and won the game 2-0, and so that was so exciting and so fun. And before the game, we went to the game with some of our friends, and we stopped at the Thai restaurant and had too much fun at the Thai restaurant talking. All of a sudden we're like, the game started, and so we missed the first goal, but we were there for the majority of the game, and it was so much fun. I think one thing that we wanted to mention in this video is just that I feel like the spring has kind of been consumed by excellent media. I feel like we've both just been like consuming, devouring good media. We've been reading so much. We try to go to bed early every night and just like read for an hour before bed, and it's been so lovely. We wanted to give a mutual book recommendation. I'll go grab it.
Hold, please.
We figured it'd be fun to give a little recommendation in case any of you are readers or want to get into reading. And the little silly thing about Connor and I is that we're just like one person with two bodies. We like watch all the same things, read all the same things, eat all the same things. And so a lot of times what happens, I'm a little bit of a faster reader. And so like I'll read a book and then I'll set it in Connor's pile. And then he'll start reading that book. And like every time I finish a book, I just give it to Connor and we like read all the same books. It's not always true. Right now he's reading a book I've never read before. But this is one that the like day I finished, I gave to Connor to start reading. And we both loved. And so this is our spring 2025 book recommendation. It's called This Is How You Lose the Time War. I would say it's a sci-fi romance.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really unique. There's two authors and two characters in the book. One's called Red and one's called Blue, as they're like traveling through time in this time war. But each chapter alternates which character is narrating, Red or Blue, and each author has a character that they write for. So the two characters actually have like different writing styles. 10 out of 10 recommend. Very good book.
Yeah, fantastic.
And of course, this would not be a Connor Megan update video without some videos and pictures of cooking. So some pictures of food that we made this couple months. We made a strawberry blue cheese salad, very spring. Love fruit in the spring. Connor's been killing it with the Mediterranean bowls. Those are always delicious. As it's kind of transitioning into summer, We've been doing lots of veggie burger nights. I feel like that gives cookout energy even though we don't have a grill. Something new that we tried was making vegetarian sloppy joes, and it's something that my dad's made before, and so I kind of stole his idea for it. I actually called him before I went grocery shopping for it to consult. But we made sloppy joes with the Joe. Is the Joe what the middle is? Who's Joe in this? Is Joe me?
I don't know.
I think
Maybe
I'm
we're
Joe
all
as the eater.
Joe.
I think we're Joe. The sloppy. the sloppy.
Appetizing.
The meat of the sandwich was made out of
Sloppy.
a mix of jackfruit and mushrooms, and so that was fun. Yeah, and then we've also been making lots of orzo pasta salad lately, and that's been really good. I feel like I'm just naming foods to you. Is this fun? Do you guys still want to watch this? We've also been doing some baking. For my birthday, Gigi and Pop-Up sent me some dry mixes for baking stuff, and so that's been wonderful. We made some focaccia, and that was delicious. We actually need to make more of those because that was delicious. I also did some from scratch baking too. I don't know how to say this word. Lemon posset?
Possum?
I saw somebody pronounce it the other day. I always say posset. Somebody pronounced it to me and I was like, oh, but I can't remember how they said it. Posset. I made a lemon cream dish in a lemon, which was fun.
What was so hard about that?
Okay. And then we also have been having some fun little drinks. I went through a virgin pina colada phase where I was making us little coconut milk pineapple drinks every night.
So good.
We also bought a jalapeno limeade from Trader Joe's, and so that's been fun. I feel like this video, we just are naming foods, dude. We've been to some restaurants. This has gone off the rails. We with some friends, we went to a place called MJ Sushi House, or MJ Sushi, which is really fun. We went to State of Mind Pizza House. JoJo's moms had recommended to us that we go there and get the heirloom tomato goat cheese basil pizza, and so we did that, and that was fantastic. Okay, very last segment is just I feel like we've been taking care of business.
Yeah.
We started running.
Yeah, we have.
But then, and we started seeing improvement. I was like getting more in shape. I was getting faster. But then I had chest pain and a heart episode that lasted like a week. And I was like, am I having a heart attack? And so, but on the bright side, I have a PCP now. So I'm like a California doctor. And I got to wear a cute little heart monitor for 2 weeks. And that was very fun. Haven't gotten the results back from that yet. And then.
But wait, this is where it gets crazy.
I don't even know which part.
Fixing the sink.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of it, so I'm gonna say it. Our sink in our apartment,
And we
like,
fixed it.
oh my god, like every week, every less than a week, like every other day, all of a sudden the garbage disposal would like clog up and not, like the electricity would stop. It would have shorted, and. And so I don't know that I'm even gonna post this video online. I think we have to refilm this all tomorrow and like cut half the boring stuff out of this. But anyway, we called maintenance in and maintenance came and like fixed it, but then it broke the next day, and so we called them back, and then they fixed it, and then it broke the next day, and so we called them back, and then they fixed it, and then it broke the next day, and I was like, this is ridiculous. But then I was like, I'm an engineering student, and I like Googled like how to fix sink, and then we went in and we did it, and we fixed the sink, and it's better now. And so I felt very apt. That
I think it is, which is the worst part. I'm just laughing for no reason.
Anyway, that's all that we've been up to. But the video's not over yet because tomorrow, oh my god,
This weekend.
Well, this is Memorial Day weekend, and so it's a 3-day weekend, and Connor and I both have Monday off, so that's gonna be really fun. So we wanted to do something fun, and also just to celebrate that it seems like we're like both coming out of our stresses on the up and up where we're both gonna be fine. And so tomorrow we're gonna go to Monterey Bay, which is really fun. And so we're gonna start by going to Point Lobos State Park and do some hiking, and then we have tickets to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Anyway, we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning to go hike with us at Point Lobos State Park.
Wait a minute, I
trail. Rate it out of 10. This is such a cross-country road trip for 10 out of 10. It was so beautiful. I found it because it was ranked one of the top 10 hiking trails in California, and I think it definitely delivered. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
We got to see in the distance, it didn't really pick up on camera, so this is another one of those you'll just have to believe us moments, but we got to see harbor seals, and we also got to see sea lions, and we heard sea lions, and so that was super fun. We saw some bunnies and lots of birds, and now we're headed to brunch, and then the Monterey Bay Aquarium is next on the docket. So super fun day.
Super fun day. I'm so excited.
I'm wearing Connor's Ralston Middle School sweatshirt, so maybe I look like a middle schooler.
Right.
Hello everybody, we're in the parking lot of From Scratch Breakfast. We just ate. Here, I'll put us on one side. This is what we just ate. Wow! It was so good. And it was such a cute little area too, a cute little shopping center. And now we're gonna go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
So exciting.
Electricity, shockwave, central power on the motherfucker.